What's up, team? Everything I buy now is on TikTok Shop. Like I got this. Check this out. Oh. I don't have the microphone hooked up, but if I did, I could walk all around and it would still, pardon the mess in the living room. It's got, there's paper there because fish vomited on the carpet. Paintings from past episodes. I got them printed off and haven't hung them up yet. Some interesting things about my psyche and personality that I'm working on changing. But for whatever reason, my living room, my whole apartment has been under construction forever. But that's okay. And it's okay that fish vomited on the carpet because it's essential for reasons that I don't know yet and may never know, but it happened and therefore it is essential. It really is it's like if it happened, it had to. It had to, because everything that happens had to happen. It's not like something happened and it was like, oh, that was a mistake that the universe made. You think this makes mistakes? You think something that's infinitely intelligent makes mistakes? What we perceive as a mistake is based on our understanding, our unbelievably limited understanding of reality. To even suggest that a mistake had been made is based on literally infinitely limited knowledge. And it's more fun. It's more fun to just maintain that attitude. It feels better. Anyway, I was just meditating and about probably 2 years ago, there was this sound coming from somewhere nearby, either in another building or I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And my roommate at the time, Michael, and I were trying to hunt down where these beeps were coming from. It sounded like a fire alarm, that needed its, or a fire, what the hell do you call it? A smoke detector. A smoke detector that needed its batteries changed, and it just beeps, But it was happening all the time. And it got to the point where it was oh, I'm losing my mind here. I am being woken up by these beeps. I can't fall asleep because it was the water torture or whatever, where I guess this is not really the same type of thing, but where they drop water on the forehead. Maybe I think that's actually not the same thing because that's a physical thing. But it was it got to the level of torturous consistency. And I would open my window at night and be please change your fire alarm. Smoke detector. Just fucked it up again. All good. And nobody would respond. And we were able to figure out that it was coming from the building across this brick building. And then one night, this went on for months. And then one night, I heard somebody out of my window say, "There's a smoke detector that needs its battery changed." And it was really forceful and I was oh my God, yes. And I went out and opened that window, and there was a guy who was in the higher up, that up there, sticking his head out. And so I opened the window and was oh my God, you hear it too? And he was yeah, it's been going on forever. And we're both just bugging out about it. And then I see from my angle, somebody in this apartment down below, and they're washing dishes and their window's open. And I'm hey, do you hear that smoke detector? And the guy goes, "Oh yeah, that's Smokey." And I was what do you mean? Who's Smokey? And he was that's my parrot. It makes noises. It makes smoke detector noises. It makes like all kinds of noises. It makes like the PlayStation 2 starting up sound, which is a sound that I love. I think I would be way less irritated if that's what he was doing, but I've never heard that. But anyway, this guy is, and of course, this guy has no concept of the turmoil, or maybe he does, but he was not at all fazed by the fact that we were freaking out about it. But just he was like, oh, sorry, didn't mean to, like, I'll put him in the living room. And then it was like, okay, cool. And after that, I still heard him, but it was just knowing that it was a bird and not just like a smoke detector. For some reason, that made it way better. I think it's just like sort of knowing the source of the thing made it less disturbing. And it, like, my perspective on it changed, and it was like I would hear it and be like, oh, Smokey, whatever. And then one day it just stopped. And I was like, oh shit, maybe Smokey died. A year went by, a year and a half or so. And then today in meditation, I heard it. Just a faint little meep, meep, every 30 seconds or so. And the moment I heard it, I felt this like overwhelming like dread. Just like, no, I can't do this again. Like, please, no, Smokey. And it very well could have been an actual smoke detector. But it was so interesting because in meditation, I was hearing this, and that was my initial reaction. And then I started thinking to myself, like, if I had no past, then I would have this overwhelm feeling would not be here right now. It's not like if you just hear a smoke detector, you just start freaking out. I had like months and months of pent up, unprocessed anguish regarding this. And even though things had got better when I knew it was Smokey, it was still annoying. And so I was just thinking, like, dude, because I know that, like, if somebody else had just moved into my apartment and heard that, like, they wouldn't have that reaction. So I am creating that reaction based on my past. But if I just, for whatever reason, somehow, like, let's say I just woke up one day and just had no memories of the past, I would not have that reaction to the sound of the smoke detector or Smokey, whatever it is. And then I was thinking, like, okay, well, I actually don't have a past anyway, because the past literally doesn't exist. We've never experienced the past. Rupert Spira talks about how he's like, has like this thought exercise. He's doing like a Q&A, and he's like, go to the past, go to the future. You never can. Everything that you perceive as the past, you're perceiving as the past now. But it's not like the past actually exists somewhere. You carry around baggage from the past, but the baggage that you carry it around now. And it's not something that has any actual tangible qualities other than the qualities that you create in this moment about it. It's like we're basically like painters, like our minds and bodies are painters that paint, unbelievably complex and long-lasting, detailed portraits of images of the past, like infinite paintings. We're just painting all of these images and sounds and all these things, beeps and stuff. And same thing goes for the future. It never comes. It's always now. So if you can, in whatever way works for you, decide to not pull in any of the past into now, than you experience now without any filter. You actually have the experience of what's happening. And this is not just in the context of like annoying things like beeps. It's also in the context of like fear and things that have traumatized us and made us panic, or we're trying to avoid these scenarios happening again, from happening again. So we're taking all these precautions and stuff. And it was just making me think like, dude, we have so much power. And as I was sitting there meditating, I was just like, slowly coming back from the overwhelm of panic that Smokey had returned from his 1.5-year hiatus. And then I just started hearing it for what it was, which is just a sound. And that sound can't hurt me. It has no weight other than the weight that I assign to it. It is literally harmless. There's no distinction between that sound and any other sound that I would hear other than the story that I've attached to it. So if I don't attach that story, then the sound has no meaning. And that's like when in meditation, sometimes my deepest meditations come from focusing on a particular sound, like an air purifier or whatever, and then just continuously focusing on it. And as your mind wanders, you keep coming back to whatever it is that you're focusing on. And at a certain point, it's like all of the meaning kind of dissolves, all the words all the labeling ceases. And even for a moment, that ceasing of labeling, that ceasing of painting the past, those moments of actual now experience feel like, how do you even put a word on it? I don't know. It's like complete bliss. It's you're in touch with now without any past or future. And in that headspace, everything has the ability to help you get back into now. Every sound, every experience, because all of that is what's happening. So if that's what you're focused on, Smokey's beeping can be a gift. Fish's vomit on the carpet can be a gift. You are the creator of meaning when it comes to what a gift is. So even people being mean to you, even anything, that's where the power is. Your power is in the recognition that you are the infuser of meaning in your reality. And in that space, you can experience anything that you want. So anyway, hopefully Smokey's not back though, If he is, it's all good and we'll make it work. Everything's fine. Isn't that right, Fish? Yeah. Anyway, that was what happened today. Hope you guys have a great Friday, great weekend, great now moment that lasts forever. See ya.